before I get out of here and go home. So you guys are cutting into my relaxing time at home. So let's get this done.
The Big 12 rules. The Big 12.
Yeah, Nate's a rule follower. That's why I love him.
So your first glimpse into the Big 12, how do you feel?
I mean, it's basketball. I mean, it's it's basketball, and the Big 12 is going to be amazing. But we had some amazing conference games the last couple of years in the Pac-12 as well. So, they're heavyweight battles, and I thought our guys did a good job getting off to a good start, and maybe. Against some, lesser opponents, you can kind of get that little run, then make the next run and get that gap. We were just never able to do that. And so, got to give a ton of credit to TCU for hanging around and not making it easy. And, I mean, our offense obviously was clicking tonight, which is a good sign. But it had to be, or that the outcome could have been different.
Right. What was the difference? Just you guys answered basically everything. You led the whole way, even as close as they kept cutting it. Just as opposed to earlier this season when you had some deals like that, and maybe.
Yeah, I mean we haven't maybe handled some of these close games as good as we could have, and I think there's a little more certainty now in what we want to do and how we want to play. I thought the guys had great poise, and we've talked a lot about that. These aren't going to be. 20-0 runs. You're not going to be up 30 at half. I mean, those days are done. So we've got to get comfortable being in close games and comfortable fighting and fighting back. So I thought our guys showed a ton of poise today, and that's what it's going to take on a night in and night out basis.
You talk about Caleb's line 33-7-7-0.
Great. I mean, obviously, I'll take it every day. Caleb played great, and. It's going to be a long conference season, but he deserves that. And Caleb is there's a lot of attention put on him, and he's a little bit of a lightning rod. And my job is to stick with it. I mean, he's my guy, and he's our guy, and I'm going to hang with him through the good times and the bad times because I believe in him, and I know his teammates believe in him. I know he believes in himself, and. Sometimes I think that one thing that's not talked about enough is, when you're a guy of Caleb's stature and you have to come back to college, it's not easy. And there's a lot of emotions involved. And when you come back, you want it to go great, you want it to go perfect, and when it doesn't, it's a gut punch. So I think he showed a lot of character in how he's handled it and how he's responded to a situation that there's expectations and it hasn't gone well. For him to come out and play the way he did and just the way he carried himself was great. But you know what? There's another challenge waiting next week. That's the thing. We got to keep it going.
What did you like about the way Henry played tonight?
Henry settled in. Henry's somebody that I believe in a lot, and his development's taken a while, which is normal. It's not a slight to Henry by any stretch. He's in his third year. He's 7 feet tall. He had a thin frame. They're starting to come together. His shooting, his decision making, his balance, his strength is all kind of coming together at the right time. But you know what he needed? He needs some game experience. Henry has shot the ball really well in workouts and practice. And I don't know what his three-point shooting was going into the game, but it wasn't an indicator of that. So there's this thing called game confidence that you have to get, and when you have to be able to do it under the lights. And so for him to kind of get that opportunity, Mo's out. So we'll make that announcement. I don't think he's coming back this year. I mean, it doesn't look like it. So now we're going to be able to roll with Henry, and he's going to get probably a little more opportunity, and for him to kind of have a kick off his Big 12 career the way he did tonight was a great sign.
Was there a definitive ruling today from doctors or whatever as far as Mo, or did he decide to have surgery?
Well, I mean, I think that's coming. But the head coach probably slipped up and said too much when he probably knew more, and then finally, just let my guard down and said what we all kind of were assuming. So, I met with Mo today. It doesn't look like he's going to play, but he's a great person and a great player, and he's an important part of our program going forward.
Before the last 3 games, Tommy, I'm sorry, you.
Well, just to follow up, is he going to have surgery, or that's still up in the air?
Yeah, I'll let J-Rock and the training staff, kind of make those announcements, and Nate when the time is right. Because if I did say that and I don't know the right procedure or whatever, I don't want to violate any HIPAA rules or anything. So But yeah, it doesn't look like he's coming back this year.
Guys, one more thing, just, sorry. Was that like was there any chance that he wanted to play? Did you guys want to err on the conservative
I mean,
side?
Bruce, I'm not going to get into the weeds, but it doesn't look like he's going to be back this year. And, as, more time passes, maybe we'll get more clarity on everything. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know all the particulars because I've been so focused on the guys that are going to play and moving this team forward, that's been where my attention's been.
Back to Tommy, back to Caleb, Tommy. Did you, at any point in the last 3 games, he's been brilliant on his points, did you have to say, don't worry, I got you, everything will be okay, or you didn't have to worry about that?
I mean, we've had a lot of conversations, and I think that's always understood, with him and I. But that doesn't mean we're not honest. That doesn't mean that I just, rub his shoulders. I'm very honest with him, and you know what? He can handle it. And I thought he played great today. I thought he did. I thought start of the second half defensively, I think he went for a wild steal and things like that. We'll talk about that. But all in all, I mean, I think, he showed that, he's one of the best players in the country. But to be one of the best players in the country, you got to do it on a night in and night out basis, and hopefully that's what we're trending towards.
Tommy, you mentioned earlier that the offense had to be clicking tonight or the result could have been different. What was your impression of TCU, especially offensively, considering they were missing 2 of their best?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Jamie's a great coach. He's been there, playing a lot of big games. He's got almost an entirely new team, and so it's really impressive. And but those dudes they have some veterans, man. Those guys have been around the block. They've played those transfers. Those freshmen came in and played with confidence today. Probably a little bit like we were. Those injuries happen initially, and it kind of rocks you a little bit. It takes a little bit to stabilize, and they're probably knowing that Frankie's not playing this year, so Reynolds is probably a little bit more comfortable. Number 3, I think Outlet, is that his name? I mean, boy, he was something tonight. And then their role players were great, and so I think it's just it's a really impressive outfit. And I know these injuries are tough on everybody, but I was really impressed with just how they competed tonight. I thought we had them on the ropes a couple times, and then they came back, and then man, I thought we had a few crazy possessions. They got an and one, they made a 3, and defensively we could have been better. There's no doubt about it. So I was just impressed with their stick-to-itiveness tonight.
Carter Bryant made some spectacular plays out there, but he's also put a lot of control at times. He got one spin move that he tried to travel. What do you make of where he's at?
Growing. Guys, I told you, let's give him a month. Let's see where he's at after a month. You need that initial kind of, those initial opportunities and those initial tests to see where you're at. And then you need some time to respond to those. And I think we're getting to that right now, and he's got enough game experience now. He did some great things today. I mean, that 3 he made was big time. He had another 3 right in front of our bench. He goes in and out. That would have kind of iced the game. So, I mean, those are big time plays. He did have a travel on a little dump down. He had a travel on when he caught the ball kind of in the middle of the zone on that spin move you're talking about. Those are things he could continue to get better at. And, defensively, he had some great possessions, and he had some possessions where, he did too much. They're all learning. It's all learning. And Carter is, Carter has 2 things in spades: great character and great potential. And I will bet on those things every day. But they just take a little bit of time, and I think we're getting closer to seeing, what a more finished product of Carter is going to look like.
Third 3 baskets real quick. Go ahead and get transition.
Sorry, Steve.
No, good.
Just to follow, because I want to follow up on Carter, but
Why do you 2 sit next to each other?
You've been together too long.
it's scary how long. But Carter, it seemed like he played really well when he was at the 4 too. I mean, is that more?
Yeah, I mean, we've been most of his opportunities been coming at the 4, but there's a domino effect. Big Mo goes out, so you got Toby at the 5, Henry slides over to the 5, you got Trey at the floor. That opens up an opportunity for Carter to move to the 4, which opens up an opportunity for Delly to get more opportunity at the at the wing position, and then we can kind of figure out those 5 perimeter guys, who's playing good, and they can get a lot of the opportunity. So it's just kind of maybe giving us a little more certainty in our rotation.
33 baskets, 28 assists. Looked like Tommy Lloyd of the 2-3.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, well, listen, 2-3 years ago was last year. We didn't do that last year. I mean, that's how we love to play, and assists is something we never talk about. But playing the right way is something we talk about. We want ball movement. We want player movement. We want guys to have high IQs. We want guys playing with great fundamentals. And, you know, yeah, that was challenging at some points this year. And you know, I obviously could have done a better job coaching it, but it's not like I changed my philosophy. You know, so now I think that there's more synergy between, you know, what the staff's looking for and what the players are doing on the court.
You're looking forward to having the opportunity to carry what you did here onto the road with these two?
100%. I mean, we're fired up. We're fired up. We got a great road trip. I mean, come on, you're going all the way back to the East Coast. You're playing Cincinnati. You're playing West Virginia. I'm assuming both fan bases are going to be excited that Arizona's coming to their home gym. And, yeah, I mean, what a great opportunity for us to go out and continue to prove ourselves in the Big 12.
How do you feel about playing that's your longest trip? To do that right away, is that a good thing? You're not in school, the guys aren't in school.
I'll let you know after.
Yeah.
We'll talk after, and then I'll let you know. In our lunch wrap-up at the end of the season, we'll talk about it.
Brigger going to give you the tour of Cincinnati, or you got recs for that?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of friends in Cincinnati, so I'm looking forward to it. But hey, let's keep Brigger focused on you know, making sure the uniforms are clean and everything. We don't need him getting sidetracked.
How's it gone with to begin? Sorry.
Go ahead, Bill.
How has it gone with him? You kind of inherited Emoy, right? Like, I mean, how was that?
Wow, we're calling him by acronyms now?
Well, that's what you've called him, and I get that.
Listen, you know, there's a lot of guys that have stayed on with the program, and you know, since I came here, and I think that continuity is really important. I mean, I'm not going to come in and assume that I know everything that is Arizona basketball, and I am going to be everything that Arizona basketball is going to be. Arizona basketball was amazing before I got here, and you know what? It'll probably be amazing after me. And this is my time in there, but so it's not about me. It's about the program. And those guys have helped me. I mean, when you talk about the guys, I could think Nate, right here, Brigger, Rounds, J-Rock. Those four guys right there have helped me so much, you know, navigate Arizona basketball. And they've been positive contributors, and they've really become lifelong friends. So I'm thankful for those guys. And it just, to me, that's super important. Just that continuity and understanding that this is a lot bigger than me.
You like your first?
resolution?
Huh?
Do you have a New Year's resolution?
I can't tell you, because that will never happen, right?
Is that how those work?
Something like that. I don't know.
It's like a wish?
Yeah. I'm not a big New Year's resolution guy, you know. So.
This is your first foray into the Big 12, obviously, the toughness, you're going to need it. Did you like what you saw today?
Yeah, you need toughness, but you know what? You need toughness when you played UCLA. You need toughness when you played Oregon. You need toughness when you played SC. That's what winning basketball is. You know, yeah. I mean, maybe we'll see top to bottom. Maybe there's a little bit more of it needed. But here's the deal: I'm going to go in eyes wide open. I'm not going to assume everything. The assumptions I'm going to make are easy. Every game is going to be hard, and we're going to have to play good to be competitive. I'll make those assumptions. Anything beyond that, I mean, we're going to have to earn, and that's how we're going to approach it.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks.
See you guys next year.